Hey, Orchard Archivers. What's in store for this week's Apple Snack? Coming up. That was awesome.
Okay. All right. So we'll give this a listen.
Okay, sounds good.
Okay.
So buckle up and hold on tight for some Caramelicious end of summer fun.
You're on a retro trek with the Caramel Apples podcast, the apple snack that brings you a retro vibe, both crunchy and sweet, with your hosts Kennedy Rizzo and Cooper Lee.
Oh, how are you doing today, Coop?
I have to say, today is really amazing. The sun is shining, and I'm not really one for the sun, but it's gorgeous day out there. So
Oh, 100%. You're right.
now I would certainly say this is probably a really good day for you.
Yeah, it's sunshiny, it's hot, and I love everything connected to summer.
Yes. Summer definitely has its good qualities, I would say. Especially the fact that it's going into fall, but I'm just kidding.
Yeah, fall's nice too. We're almost going into that, so we're happy about that.
We are, which, you know, taking us into what we're actually doing an apple snack on today, I think is kind of a nice segue into saying, okay, here we are. We know that we're towards the end of August and we know what's coming next. Some people have already started back to school.
Yeah.
Some of still waiting for that dreaded first day to come around, but it's on its way. And we feel sorry for the poor kiddos. But yes, we've been there, done that.
Oh, yes. Hated it.
Yeah, yeah. And part of the reason is our subject matter. Part of
Yeah.
the things we did in the summer, yes, the pool was always amazing, but what was it exactly that would really get us going in the summertime there, Kennard?
Oh, well, like all things fun and that connection that we had when we were with our girl squad.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, I mean, like you mentioned, we were always at the beach or the pool with them, but like one of our major nostalgic memories with them was going to the fair or to theme
Yes.
parks.
Yes, absolutely. So the fairs actually did come a little bit later with them personally, wasn't it? Because we really didn't have the wheels to get ourselves there.
You're right. Yes, we were we were of humble means.
But definitely like the amusement parks because the poor parents that always were hosting the slumber parties, these were the same parents that were brave enough to take all of us kids, pile us in the big van, and we'd
Oh yeah.
head to one of the amusement parks.
Yes. And that was, and our parents were so sweet. They would scrape up money so that we could go and have a good time.
Yes,
We
yes,
I think we did it 3 times with them.
yes.
But like, this was a big deal because we didn't have like a lot of experience going on vacation like most people did. Like this was our vacation, summer vacation.
Absolutely.
And there were 2 different things that we would do with our folks and our friends. It was the state fair and of course the theme park. So
Yes.
um when we got there, I remember feeling the euphoria of when you just walk, all the excitement around, like everything. It was so big.
Yes. And do you remember when we would be in the parking lot? It was like we would try to remember the row that we were in. It's like, yeah, the van was big, but it would be lost in the sea of cars.
Yeah.
So they were making sure that we all remember what row we were in, what the number was, and all of that. Because they're like, if we ever get separated, we meet back out at the van.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Good plan of action there.
Yeah.
And I do think a couple of us needed to use that,
Yes.
break glass in case of emergency. Oh, let's go.
Yes. Oh my goodness. It was so much fun though, like you said. So just entering in to said park, the euphoria as you were getting your hand stamped and going in through the gates, and it's like another world the minute you got in there, and you could see the rides off in the distance and the shops nearby. And
Yeah, and they're corralling you to get your picture. They want you to get a group picture, and then they give them.
yeah.
Yeah, you'd be able to pay for that.
Yes.
And
Yes.
you could smell the funnel cakes and cotton candy and pizza in the air.
Absolutely. And I have to say, their pizza was pretty amazing for being an amusement park. Their pizza was really good. Yeah. So all day long, you had your choice of any kind of treats you wanted, beverage. I think most theme parks have some sort of water park or whatever. Ours was kind of slow about getting that at first. Like,
Yeah.
it didn't have that at first. It was mostly about the rides, but they did have a kiddie area, so they had the
Yes.
kiddie rides.
Yeah. Yeah.
When we were smaller, that is where we first headed off to, was the kiddie area.
And this one we're talking about, they were all about Hanna-Barbera. So it was more themed like Flintstones, Scooby, Top Cat, which that's a little older, that's what, late 60s, early 70s or whatever. But
Yeah.
but all of them, Smurfs, you name it. They had an amphitheater. There was a stand right outside of that you could get blue ice cream, soft serve, that was for the Smurfs.
Yes. I so remember that. Oh my God.
It was good
That is
too.
crazy. Yeah.
Screaming because they'd all be, on the rides, the big rides. Which, okay, so our friend, one of our dearest friends, her dad, he was great.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
he wanted somebody to ride them roller coasters with him. So he would
Yeah.
would drag us kids on there, okay, stand in line, take your turn, and he would get us all to ride. And he loved the namesake roller coaster of the
Yes.
park. I mean, he had to do that. He had to do that at night.
Yes. Yes.
And it was epic.
Literally, he was the one to actually get us initiated on roller coasters, big roller coasters. And that is where the love started. Because once you got on one, it was like, this is what we've been missing for being over in the kiddie side? What? Riding on the tram? This is what we've been missing? Oh, wow. Yeah. So exciting.
Yeah. And before that, we were totally chicken. So like it had we had to cross that threshold, because once it was happening, like you said, we were mad scientists at that point. Like, now where are we going to go? Where to next?
Yeah. Just try and stop us at that point. Oh, yeah. And the fact that we rode it at night, it was like, oh, now it's over. We have to go home. Oh, no. Because now we had to wait until the next time we came back.
Oh my goodness, epic. And real quick, one of our cousins, and she was an honorary member of the Girl Squad a couple years ago. She's got kids now, so she took her kids and her grandkid there, and she got a nice picture of the ride at night, all lit up with a full moon. I mean, this picture. Yeah, I have to show it to you, Coop. This picture is epic. I would love to blow it up and put it in the office. I don't know.
Oh, how awesome is that? And she worked there when she was young, when she was a teenager. She worked there.
She sure did. She did.
Full circle. How cool is that?
Yeah, because that was part of our coming of age. We were like,
yes.
Oh, we get to go to the theme park, just the four of us together, No parents. All right, cotton candy, here I come.
Yeah.
So, what do you remember? Which was your favorite? Can you describe the first roller coaster that you enjoyed or rode on?
I absolutely can because it is etched in my mind.
Good,
Um,
good.
yeah, I remember because there was the main one. There was two that were kind of named one after the other. It was like there was the Big Daddy, and then there was the baby.
Uh-huh. Yes.
Now, what was really crazy about the baby? It was far more exciting than the Big Daddy.
Who believe?
Ah, no, it's like, how's that happen? But it was like, oh wow. I mean, because after writing both of them, it was like, oh yeah, the baby one is so much more exciting.
Okay, so you're saying, Coop, that your first one was the baby one?
Yeah, that was my very first one, and
Awesome.
yeah, it was totally, yeah, loved it.
Oh my goodness, that is crazy.
What was your first one?
Mine was, well, the one you're talking about, those were made of wood, so that's why they were
Yes.
supposedly so epic. I can't stand the wooden ones because I mean, itch like all the rattling and shaking and all that. I'm like, ugh.
Splinters.
Mine was a steel coaster. My first one was a steel coaster, and
Ah.
it had all the loops and twists and turns you could think of. This thing was awesome, and the commercial they had for it back in the day, it was an 86 or 7.
Oh yes.
Talk about being something etched in your mind. So I'll just say this: it puts you in mind of Voltron or Transformers. It was awesome. I loved it.
Yes. So powerful. Oh, I
This,
totally remember this commercial too.
oh my goodness, this thing had a 360-degree helix loop,
Yes.
and it just from start to finish had you just screaming for mercy. I mean,
And it
yeah.
was like pretty much right out the gate. Like I remember loving this ride too. Um, and getting on it. And of course, you have to say, did you prefer the front or the back seat?
I love the back.
Yeah, yeah. The front had its own thrills, right? You get on the front and it's like you see everything first. You crest the hill and come over and you see everything first. But the back seat, you just had to go. I mean, you had no choice at that point. You just went where it took you, right? So it's like both seats are epic. They put you on the edge of your seat.
Yeah.
Different experience depending on where you are. I think the middle's okay. I mean, it's all right, but I think either front or back, you are in for a wild ride. And
Yeah.
as you said, those going straight all the way up and down, corkscrews, just, and it's funny because when you walk underneath these, right, you hear the people screaming, and it's like the classic scream. It's like they bottled a scream, and it's anytime you go underneath the roller coaster, it's the same scream.
Right. Yeah, they call it that canned screaming canned.
That is what it was. And you remember then they got like into the stand-up roller coasters.
Oh, I liked those.
Yes. And the stand-up roller coasters, they were tricky because when you could ride them, they were amazing.
Yeah.
But those you had to, if the wind was not just perfect, they would be shut down. They would not allow them to go for safety reasons. So okay, we appreciate that. But you couldn't always ride them because if it was kind of exceptionally windy that day, you may not get on it. That kind
It,
of sucks.
it was a lot. I
Yeah.
mean, it, and they'd have the car parked up on the half hill,
Yeah.
so you knew it wasn't running. It was like, what is the meaning of this? We paid good money to be in here. We need to ride that.
Yeah, like you said, a lot of times it was already parked up there. It's like, what?
Yeah, like, okay, maybe that's a design flaw. Wind? Really?
Yeah. And then remember they got into like the overheads. The overhead, the track above your head, that got to be really popular.
Oh, okay. So another one of my favorites is that okay, so we are sandwiched in between two colossal theme parks.
Yeah, we're near both of them. Yeah.
And the one now Coop's talking about, that one had one of the most awesome overhead tracked coasters around.
Yeah, and why else was it so epic? because it
And
just fit this time parameter.
it did. And it was like right there, it was like, okay, so you're here. Welcome. It was like one of the first ones you could get on.
Yes.
I remember I was so one time, the Hubs and I and Coop and a friend of hers, we all got on there and we were enjoying the ride and whatnot. And screaming, having a good time. And I had flip-flops on. They were my favorite. They were little platform ones. I love these things. I wore them out.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds like that's super duper clear.
And we did one of the loops, one of the turns, and was screaming, having a good time, and my shoe flew off. I was deadpan after that. I was so worried about getting my shoe.
Oh, yes.
Long story short, actually there was a little group of concession stands underneath the coaster, the Steel Monster, and I got them to go out behind there and go pick it up in the grassy area for me. All's well.
It was either that or get a new pair of shoes.
Yeah, like things are mine. I love them.
Oh, wow. And they tell us, it's kind of like at your own risk, the kind of things you wear.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. And remember the other one overhead, the first one that we rode with the track above our head was called Top Gun. Remember that?
Yes, they did have one called Top Gun. Loved it.
And they built it up so much while you were standing in line. You're standing in line and they are playing bits and parts of the movie, right?
That was so cool.
And it's all made up looking like it's a hangar for the military. So you're standing there and you're listening to bits and parts of the movie. It looks like you're getting onto a plane. One of these, I can't even tell you, what is it, F-50s or whatever, F-1, I don't even know.
I think they're F-14s.
F-14s, there you go.
Yeah.
I knew an F was in there somewhere. So you're prepared for that, and the epic music is just climaxing and building up. You're like, I'm so ready, yes.
Yeah, thank you, Kenny Loggins.
Yes, thank you, Kenny Loggins. Oh my goodness. Oh wow.
But all this. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Well, no, go right ahead.
Well, like this was all like a bigger steroidal version of fun at both these big theme parks versus the state fair. We love the state fair, and that's really where we spent time with our mom and dad, like as a family.
Yes.
And the rides were still good. They were free at the time. They changed that, as we started to, become preteens and that kind of thing. The rides were always fun, and the same smells were in the air. You might want to add sweaty people and bodies on top of that. The state fair was like, oh, this is not good. We need a shower. But
Ick.
Yeah. But like they had the best food and stuff, funnel cakes and pretzels and nachos, that kind of thing. That was always kind of more of a state fair thing. But
yeah,
I always liked riding those rides, but then got a little, you get older and you start overthinking things, and then you're like, they really do put these up and down week by week all through the summer.
True.
They go to county fairs and they go to state fairs, and you're thinking, I don't know what's these rides. I don't know. I got to where I was starting to like, I don't think I want to get on them.
And not to put too fine a point on it, but what you're saying, that's not too far-fetched, right? I mean, things happen.
Yeah.
Things happen with the ones that are stationary, that don't move. I mean, like not too long ago, we've had recent news articles, not to go long on it, but tragedies do happen. So the fact that it was getting formulated in your brain as you were getting older, you were like putting two and two together. You're like, I don't know.
You're right. And that's not a one-off. You're right. Just this summer alone, like, man, there was quite a few stories in the news feeds about parts falling off of big steel coasters, or they're not maintained like they were in years past, and people were getting hurt, or I don't know. It makes you a little gun shy about wanting to, do that. And And you might have health problems. You might not want to get on, use discernment. Do you want to get on if you have health problems? I don't know.
Right. Yeah, they really do kind of put all those posters up there, quite
Yeah.
a couple different places for every single ride to just kind of remind you, once you're to this point, this is on you. You. We don't know you. You do. Don't get on this ride if it's going to cause a problem.
Coop, I get car sick now. I can't even go on the highway for a clover leaf without getting flipping dizzy. I mean, like I'm sitting there, I have to cover my eyes, and they're like, "Oh, I can't do this." I don't think coasters are for me anymore.
Oh, that breaks my heart, Kennard.
Thank you. It breaks mine too. It just,
Oh,
yeah, getting older and not feeling well. It's kind of a
yeah.
buzzkill.
But at least as we did today, we were able to go back, drift back to those times when that did not matter. It just wasn't a thing. You could get on the rides, fine, get right on the next ride, no problem, like hammer them out, no issues, and have complete enjoyment all day long with our girl squad. I mean, every time we reminisce about the past, it's like, man, it was awesome, wasn't it?
It really, really was. It can't say it any better.
Yeah.
Um, so can you think of something off the top of your head where they kind of showed like a theme park or something in pop culture? If you can't, that's okay. I mean,
Give me a second. If you can think of something, go right ahead.
okay. Well, National Lampoon's that whole family trip in the family truckster. They were on their way to Wally World,
Oh my God.
which
Yes.
with the parking lot, they showed that, like when they got there it was empty, like kind of what you were describing, how that was our plan of action if we got separated from the group, like
Right.
that kind of looked like where the theme park that we went to the most. So
Yeah. And how do I even top that? Right. I mean, that is just classic right there. That nailed it. Oh, wow. I mean, yeah, because it's all throughout pop culture, movies and TV shows. Even back then, even someone with their little crush, they'd go there. I can even think in like Karate Kid. I think that they went to some kind of like amusement type park that also, but they were more on the arcade side of it. But I think it had rides and stuff there.
nice.
Him and
Yeah.
Allie. Um,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
yeah, but yours top mine. So
Well, I got one honorable mention, and that's them silly banana splits. Remember, they were actually at one of the ones that's kind of like we're nearby where we are. They were at a actual theme park. So,
oh yeah.
oh my God, the banana splits, they're nuts.
Yeah, they're just another level of crazy.
I love it. It's just that is right up my alley. I love them.
Yeah, yeah, crazy.
Well, I hate to see summer, hate to say goodbye to summer, but it's fleeting us whether we like it or not. But I'm glad that we've taken time to talk about the fond memories that we've gathered from there, and also from going to the pool and the beach. Summer is just absolutely the best.
It definitely has its shining parts, I'll tell you. I mean, those are the highlights of it. It really is.
That's right. Now we need to go get some cotton candy.
Get some kind of funnel cake with some cherries. No, what am I saying? Some caramel apples on top. Hey,
Caramel apples.
shameless plug. And that's it for this week's Apple Snack. But as you know, there's always more where that came from. So stay tuned. If you enjoyed what you heard today, subscribe, rate, and review, and always spread the word because that is the best way for us to grow our podcast. See you next time in the Retro Orchard, and thanks so much for listening.